Hey everybody, Jason here. I'd like to thank everybody who's recently subscribed or liked my videos, particularly those from North America. Thank you so much. It makes it all worthwhile, and I'll keep going and delivering videos if you guys keep watching. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about analog delay. So, prior to the mid-80s, all delay pedals were either tape or what we call analog, and they use a particular type of chip inside, which every time the note repeats, it becomes a little bit darker. It loses definition and clarity. Now, at the time, guitarists were looking for that perfect tone, and they were looking for more clarity. So when digital came out, particularly by about the mid-80s with the Boss DD3 and onwards, guitar players left pedals like this behind in favor of that extra bit of clarity that they got from digital. But in the last 10 years or so, we've seen basically from this pedal onwards, the MXR carbon copy brought back analog delay in a big way and has made it really cool again. And there's reasons for that. I mean, from a musical point of view, having your repeats sound exactly the same as your normal guitar signal can actually get in the way of your playing, particularly if you've turned the mix up a little bit. So having a analog delay on, it doesn't interfere too much with what you're playing. So the note that you're playing is not being interfered with by the notes that you have played and are repeating. And every time you get a repeat from an analog delay, it rolls more and more and more tone off. So I'll give you an example of what that sounds like. So as you can hear, every time it repeats, we lose a bit of note definition, and that's really cool. It doesn't get in the way too much of what you're actually playing. It's what we call a darker repeat. So if you're playing 80s style guitar riffs like the one I just played, or if you're really into your Joe Satriani, he was a big fan of the Ibanez analog delay back in the 80s, and he used that famously on the Surfing with the Alien record. And if you like to play a lot of that single note melody stuff, using an analog delay is a great idea because those repeats are not going to interfere too much with your melody note or with your chords that you're playing. So there's a lot of analog delays you can get your hands on out there today. There's ones with tap tempo like the DoD Rubberneck and the Carbon Copy Deluxe. But there's also pedals like the DM2W, which is a reissue by Boss of their old DM2, which came out in the early 80s, which is an absolute classic. There's also Maxon, Ibanez. Ibanez do a mini version of their analog delay, which is really, really good. There's also obviously the Carbon Copy, which is an excellent, really warm sounding analog delay with modulation. And if you take off the back, there's some controls on the inside where you can control the modulation, the speed and the depth, which I think is really cool. It's really worth having a go of, because I know a lot of digital pedals do recreations of analog, and for example, I owned a TC flashback for a couple of years, and the analog setting on that, while I liked it, it does not even compare to these two pedals. It's pretty good, but these are way better. Even my Strymon timeline, I find that the analog settings on that, and I've tried to recreate some analog settings myself, just not quite as warm and as rich as the real thing. So get your hands on one and try one. And if you like this video, please subscribe and like, and that would mean a hell of a lot to me. And have a good day. Cheers.